In the dim glow of a forgotten laboratory deep beneath the frozen Siberian tundra, during the height of World War II, a group of Soviet scientists embarked on an experiment that would push the boundaries of human endurance beyond anything imaginable. It was 1943, and the war raged on. The Russians, desperate for an edge against their enemies, sought a way to create super soldiers who could fight without sleep, without fatigue, without mercy. Whispers of this project have circulated for decades. But what really happened in that sealed chamber? What horrors were unleashed when they tampered with the very essence of the human mind? Listen closely, because this tale isn't just a story, it is a warning about the darkness that lurks when we deny our bodies what they crave most: rest. It all began with 5 political prisoners, handpicked from the gulags. These men weren't volunteers, they were expendable, promised freedom if they survived 30 days without sleep. The scientists assured them it was safe, thanks to a revolutionary gaseous stimulant derived from secret chemical compounds that would keep them awake, alert, and unbreakable. The chamber was airtight, equipped with microphones, observation windows, and basic amenities: beds, a toilet, books, and enough dried food to last a month. No bedsheets, no luxuries that could be weaponized. The gas would be pumped in continuously, and the subjects would be monitored around the clock. What could go wrong? The researchers, led by Dr. Ivan Petrov, a brilliant but ruthless neuroscientist, believed they were on the cusp of a breakthrough. But as the valves hissed open and the gas filled the room, none of them could predict the nightmare that was about to unfold. The first few days were surprisingly normal. The prisoners, let's call them subjects 1 through 5, chatted animatedly, sharing stories of their lives before the war. They played cards, read aloud from the tattered books provided, and even joked about their impending freedom. The gas worked wonders: no yawning, no heavy eyelids, just boundless energy. The scientists noted everything: heart rates steady, conversations coherent. But by day 4, something shifted. The talking grew darker. Whispers of paranoia crept in. Subject 3 accused Subject 1 of hiding food, even though rations were plentiful. Fights nearly broke out, but they laughed it off nerves, they said. The researchers watched from behind the glass, scribbling notes. Was this the gas, or just cabin fever? Little did they know, the real changes were happening inside their minds, invisible but insidious. By day 6, the conversations stopped altogether. The men paced the room like caged animals, their eyes wide and unblinking. The microphones picked up mutterings, nonsensical ramblings about shadows in the corners, voices calling from the vents. Subject began screaming at night, not out of pain, but as if answering some unseen tormentor. The scientists debated intervening, but Dr. Petrov insisted, we must see how far they can go. Curiosity gripped them all. What was happening in there? Why weren't they collapsing from exhaustion? On day 9, the first sign of true horror emerged. Subject 4 pressed his face against the observation window, his eyes bloodshot and bulging. He whispered hoarsely into the microphone, "We don't want to be freed anymore. Turn off the gas." The team froze. Why? What had they seen in their sleepless delirium that made freedom terrifying? The decision was made to continue. But on day 10, The chamber fell silent. No movement, no sound. The researchers panicked. Had the gas killed them? They flooded the room with fresh air to enter. But as the doors unsealed, a blood-curdling scream echoed from within. 4 of the subjects were alive, but changed. They had torn out their own vocal cords in a frenzy, yet somehow still screamed through the pain. Their bodies were mutilated, skin peeled away in strips, muscles exposed. Yet they moved with unnatural vigor. Subject 5 lay dead on the floor, his abdomen ripped open, organs scattered as if feasted upon. The survivors lunged at the researchers, begging not to be put to sleep. "We must stay awake," one howled, his voice a guttural rasp. "The things we see when we close our eyes, they're real." Chaos erupted. The soldiers guarding the lab fired shots, but the subjects barely flinched. Bullets tore through flesh, but they kept coming, their eyes gleaming with madness. Doctor Petrov ordered the gas reapplied, thinking it would calm them. Instead, it fueled their rage. One subject smashed through the observation glass, his hands bloody claws, grabbing a scientist and tearing into him like a wild beast. Alarms blared as the facility descended into pandemonium. What had the gas done? Had it unlocked some primal horror in the human psyche? A darkness that sleep keeps at bay. The survivors whispered of the orange gas showing them truth's visions of endless voids. Entities that fed on exhaustion, promising power if they never rested again. In the ensuing lockdown, 3 researchers were killed before the subjects were subdued with massive doses of sedatives. But even unconscious, their brains showed abnormal activity dreams so vivid they caused seizures. Dr. Petrov, the last to survive the initial attack, locked himself in the control room and recorded a final log. "We've awakened something that was never meant to see the light. Sleep isn't a weakness. It's our shield against the abyss." He destroyed the gas formula, but not before one subject broke free again, slamming against the door, its voice echoing, "Join us. Stay awake. See what we see." The facility was sealed, buried under tons of concrete, and the incident classified. But rumors leaked out, whispers in the Kremlin. Then to the west during the Cold War, survivors' families received letters claiming heroic deaths in battle. Yet, some say the experiment never truly ended. In the dead of night, when insomnia strikes, do you hear it? A faint scratching, a voice urging you to stay awake just a little longer. What if the gas escaped, diluted in the air we breathe? What if that's why so many today feel that creeping dread, that urge to scroll endlessly, avoiding sleep? Years later, declassified documents surfaced online, sparking viral debates. Was it real, a hoax, or something worse, a cover for experiments that continue today? Think about it next time you fight sleep. What shadows grow in the corners of your room? What monsters wait if you let fear win? But remember the lesson buried in this tale. Face your fears, or they consume you. Sleep well, if you can.